Hello everyone, this is the second part of creating a building system. In the last video we've created a blank building component and the widget. Uh, Also in the last video I forgot to add the building component to a character, so don't forget to open your character and add uh, your building component. And the things I've done from the last video, as I told, is when I'm equipping my hammer or mallet, I'm not sure how it's pronounced correctly, widgets shown, and after the equipping, it's hidden. So now, uh, what I'm gonna do, uh, we need to handle button click somehow. So, and we need our building component to know which button has been clicked. So let's open our widget. It's buildings list, and let's open building slot. Here it is, and here is our button. Let's select it and mm, oh, let's go here. Let's make it variable and just call it button. And here in event graph, when it appears on our variables, we'll create an event unclicked. I think unclicked is enough. And we need to tell our building component what we clicked. So we need to know about building component. Let's create a new variable and call it building component, and make it instance editable and expose on spawn. Also, we need to tell our building component which class we want to spawn. So also we need a variable. We have just title, and we will also have uh, building class. It will be an actor class reference. It will also be instance editable and exposed on spawn. And in building list, we also need this all. We need building component, and we don't need a class. So now in building list widget in preconstruct, where we are creating our building slot, we have we can just refresh this node, and we have two new parameters: building component and building class. So building component will go here, and building class will go here from breaking building. I In previous video I've hidden a class pin. I will show it again and connect it. Great. And in the building list we also need the building component to be exposed on spawn. And this can be closed. Next I will open my main HUD widget, and from here I need to pass a building component to my building list. So in pre-construct, I will get building list and set building component. And of course, we main HUD main HUD widget also needs to know about building component to pass it. I will create it here. Okay, and I will pass it and also make it expose on spawn and instance editable. Next, uh, in place where I created my main HUD widget, in my case it's in user interface component, I'm creating uh, HUD widget here. I need to pass a building component here. Let me. So in your case, it depends on where you are showing your widget. Maybe you're showing it from character, scepter. So don't forget to pass building component to it. I'm also passing inventory component for inventory widget. So to do it, I'm calling getOwner. Here it is, and get component by class. And the component is building component. Here it is. Next, let's open building component and add an event. Let's create a new one, custom event, uh, and call it did select building with class and pass class here. Class type of actor class reference. Here it is. And from building slot, we will get building component and on oh, did select building with class and pass building class here. That's all. I think that we don't need anything else from widget. Now let's work with building component. After receiving this event, let's test it. Let's print which class we've selected. Okay, nothing is printed. Access none, trying to read property. Let's continue. I found out that building component mm, in this variable is not set up when pre-constructor construct is called. So let's create a custom event like setup with building component. And let's do it this way. And here I will call setup with building component like this. Now let's take a hammer and test it. So we can see print that prints us a class that we are selecting. Now I think we finally can close widgets. Now we need to spawn our building somewhere, and we need to know where we want to do it. So this can be done using a line trace. So we will make a line trace from our camera very far until it hits a landscape. So let's check in which channels I I have created a channel called building channel here, and only landscape blocks it. You can create a new one by clicking new trace channel, select default responses overlap, and name it also as building channel. So let's make a trace. First, let's spawn an actor. Spawn actor from class, and its transform will be 0, 0, 0 on each field except scale, and promote it to variable. So we will do trace only if we have something to move. Let's call it building. Okay, not just building. Selected building. For now, it will be an actor, and we will make a trace every tick. Let's create function make trace. We will need a camera location. In my case, I don't have a camera in my BP main character here, as you can see, but some of you may have a camera, and in your case, you just selecting like get camera and then get world transform, and in my case, I'm getting camera oh, player controller, not from character, get player controller, uh, camera manager, and here um, transform, not an actor transform, but I need get transform component and get world. I just need world like world transform. Here it is. And we are making line trace by channel. It's by trace channel building channel. Its start location is let's break transform and location of your camera. Also, let's uh, take a forward vector of rotation, multiply it by distance. This is the distance on which we want to make a trace. For example, I think 5,000 is 3,000 is enough for me. Adding it to camera location, and this will be end trace channel. So In this case, we're checking if it was a hit. If it was a hit, then we are breaking hit result. And we just placing mm, set world location, uh, just set location uh, of selected building to location. Here it is. Now let's check it. Oh, I forgot to call make trace, and I forgot to make a check. So let's check if now let's get selected building, convert to validate get, and do it only if it is valid. And we're making a trace every tick. And nothing happens. Let's debug. Let's show lines of a trace, like yeah, for duration, and duration is 5. That's okay. Here is a trace, and it doesn't hit a landscape. Okay, so the problem is here, and my landscape overlaps building channel. Yes, because by default building channel is overlap, so I will make it to block this channel and try again. And here it is. It spawns everywhere I move, but it moves with a person because my house still has a collision, like on stairs. It will move me also. So spawning is working and moving is working also, at least base movement. In future, I'm gonna make checks if houses overlapping something, so I should make checks if it's close to player. Now let's mark house somehow because it looks like it's already built it. Let's make a new component and call it buildable component. Mm, no, not buildable, construction component. Oops. New blueprint, actor component, and construction component. So, and my house will have this component. Here it is. This component will do, it will disable any collisions. Let's get an owner. Let's collision set actor enable collision, and let's just for now disable it. Okay, it doesn't disable it for child actors. Oops. So it's not enough. We should get children, get all child actors, and for each of them we should also disable collision, set collision enable. Let's test it again. And now everything is okay. Uh, I will disable line trace because we see that it's working. And we don't need to disable collision anytime. Let's make enum that will show us building state. Building state. And it can be both build it, previewing, and building in progress. Like previewing is a state when we just move it and select in a position of our building. And I'm not sure. I don't want to show a whole template when my mullet is not equipped. So if it is equipped, it will show me only a part that needs to be built right now. Like at first step, it will show only basement and stairs. But if it's not equipped, it should show whole building. But I'm not sure that I need this. Maybe I don't need this. I think I don't need this. I need just no. No. I need this. Uh, so I it it has state build it, previewing, and the state when hammer is equipped, and state when hammer is de-equipped. And when hammer is equipped, we need to show only buildable parts. And when it's not equipped, we need to show all parts. So let's call it something like mm, yeah, building is fine. So previewing will be when hammer de-equipped, or selecting position, building with hammer equipped, and build it is build it. So construction component will have such variable, oh, not macros, variable called building state. And it will have a building state. By default, it is build it. And we need a function that will change building state, change building state to a new state. Let's make building state instance. No, it will not be instance editable, it will be private. By default, build it, and here new building state. Here it is. And we will switch by this state. And in case of building, build it, we will okay, I already described you what we will do. So the next, we need to know which parts of my house are buildable. For example, if you have some decoration items like table in here. I don't want to build a table. I just want to build walls, basement, and etc. So I need somehow to define which parts are buildable. And let's make a new component called uh, build part component, and it will have resources needed to build it, and every child of my house with this component is it also will have state, but it will have state whether it's built it or not. So let's create a new enumeration, call it building part state. It will be build it, unbuild it. Part state. Um, and by default it is build it. So for now, let's here when we are making a trace, when we selected our building, let's take its component, get component by class, and it will be construction component. Then let's set state, oh, update state. I forgot how I called it. Change building state. Change building state, and it will be previewing. Here on change building state, we'll create a new function, set previewing state, and we will call it on previewing. Get all child actors, and for each of them that has a build part component, we will set state on build it. Let's also create a variable here, or a function here like change part state to a new state, e building part state, and it will look something like this. And here I also forgot to set it here. And here we will also switch by this value. And if unbuild it, we will show one more material. If it is build it, we will show another. So here we get all child actors, looping through them, and if and we are getting component by class, build part component, checking if it is valid. For example, table will not have this component, so we will, if it is not valid, we will hide an actor. Then set actor hidden in game to true. And if it is valid, we are taking this component. Let me a little bit make it a little bit cleaner, like this. We are taking this component and change part state to and build it. Here it is. Okay, now we need to do something here on build it or unbuild it. And we will continue in the next video. In the next video, we'll create and set materials for our blueprints, like our house will be of green material when it is placed like a template. Thanks for watching. Hope it will help someone.